Want to know the biggest lie we've told about our careers? Follow your passion, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. That's BS. Choosing a career, it's about a strategy, not just passion. Today, I'm sharing a simple step-by-step guide on how to find a career you'll love. And stick around till end, as I'm going to share some bonus tips on how to start actioning today. Hey adventurers, if you're new here, I'm Haddie, a geologist turned a finance leader, a Rodman MBA, and a career coach who has been helping people to build extraordinary careers from ground up. I've changed industries, faced rejection, and made big pivots. And I know firsthand that finding the right career, it's not always about following your passion. It's about choosing with intention and allowing yourself to evolve as part of the process. Want to know how? Let's dive in. The first step to choosing a career is to know yourself, your strengths, your passion, and your values. I learned this the hard way when I started in mining. I love science and I love the adventure part of my career. However, the strategic thinking piece was missing from my specific role as a field geologist. And that's why I started looking into what would be the right career for me, and I started pivoting into that. Here's how to do a self-assessment. First of all, identify your skills. Take a piece of paper right now and write what skills do you have, including your soft skills. If you're good at communication, negotiation, or leadership, put those ones down as well. Next one is explore your passions. Those are the things that you do even if you're not being paid for. Usually those are your hobbies that you do after school or work. If you're into sport, into gardening, into crafting, whatever that case might be, write those down under the passion section. The next one is to define your values. What is it that you want from a career? Do you want it to impact the world? Are you looking for high salaries? Are you looking for flexibilities? You need to identify what is it that you want to get out of that career. And that would help you to narrow down what is it actually that you want to pivot into. And the last one is to take a career test. There are some pricey ones such as Myers-Briggs test, but you can also find some for free through different websites. The two that I tested and I liked them, the first one is Job Bank Canada, has I think 6 or 7 different tests, and it's very easy to navigate through the website. Not only you can match your interests, your skills, and your values, but also it has a huge updated database that then you can identify jobs that are associated with your self-assessment. I felt this one doesn't really narrow down to what is it that you're interested in. So the result was still pretty broad. And the other feedback is that I felt this might be more relevant for people who are either in high school or graduating from university, or perhaps newcomers. But if you're in your mid-level career, this might not be the best option for you. The other one that's free, and I tried it and I really like it, is called My Next Move. Overall, I really like this one. I felt that it really narrows down your skills, interests, and gives you a better answer about the type of roles that you want to look into. However, it's based in the US, so it might not have Canadian jobs. And also, it looks a bit outdated. I'm not sure if the job database that they have is up to date. Step 2 is to research the job market and correlate the available roles to your self-assessment. Here's how to research like a pro. First of all, look for in-demand industries. In 2025, industries like tech, healthcare, and renewable energy are booming. A 2024 LinkedIn report mentions that tech roles such as a cloud solution architect are growing really fast in Canada. You want to also check salary and growth opportunity. Websites such as Glassdoor or Payscale are great to identify how much on average the roles that you're interested in are paying. You also want to look into growth opportunities. You want to make sure that you're not going to move to a career that has a dead end and you have to pivot again down the road. The next one is you need to identify if you're interested in office jobs, hybrid, or remote role. If you want to have flexibility for your schedule, you might want to look more for hybrid or remote roles. I have videos specifically on remote work, websites that you can find remote works in, and some of the highest paid remote works that are available right now. And the last one is talk to people in the field. If you can find people on LinkedIn who are already in those roles and you can just message them and ask them for a conversation, that would be great. Then you can ask them how their day look like. But if you can't find any connection on LinkedIn or people not replying to you, usually there are lots of YouTube videos that talk about a day in life of a cybersecurity consultant or a flight attendant that you can watch, and they walk you through how the reality of that role looks like in practice. So now that you have a step 1 completed and a step 2 completed, you want to put all of them on paper and start thinking about and assessing to narrow down to the specific roles that you want to pivot into before we move to the step 3. The step 3 is testing your options and make actions. Don't just dream. Do. When I decided to pivot to finance, I didn't just jump blindly. I tested the waters first. Here's how to do that. Try before commit. And I know this one is a little bit easier said than done, but if it's possible for you, try to do some projects. So if you're interested in roles in tech, usually you can do some freelancing work as side hustle. If you're looking for healthcare, usually there are tons of voluntary work available that you can do. If it's possible for you to do something part-time, that would be great as well. Or if it's an online community that you can do some sort of a project with them. These are all different ways that you can test the waters before jumping in. I personally did a contractor role in finance before I decided it's a great option for me to pivot into. The next one is upskill if it's needed. And most probably if you're pivoting into something different, you need to upskill. Depending on the roles that you narrowed down to after step 2, you might either want to look into longer term upskilling. You might need to take a certificate. You might need to take few years of education in college. Otherwise, if it's something such as a tech role upskilling, I highly recommend to look into more affordable websites such as Coursera and Udemy to learn those skills as a side of whatever you're doing right now. I also recommend masterclass if you're looking to upskill in more of a soft skill type of areas such as communication, negotiation, or leadership. Start applying. Don't just wait for the perfect moment when all of your skills are in the right place for the right moment in your life. You need to start polishing your resume, start meeting people and networking with them, and start applying. If you want to know more about how to successfully apply for roles, watch this video here. Set a timeline for yourself. You need to really set a timeline and a goal for yourself. And especially if it's a longer term goal, like a 6-month goal or a 2-year goal, you need to break it down to some smaller, easily seeable, achievable goals, so it keeps you motivated to keep going, because it's not going to be an easy path to just skill and switch to a new role. I promised a bonus tip, and here it is. Create a vision board for yourself. Look into the skills that you have, take some pictures, your values, and when you identify the roles that you like, you can print some of those pictures of people who are actually in those roles and put them on your vision board. And I've heard that from so many successful people, that their vision board is the one that keeps them going regardless of the challenges that they're gonna face. I personally love to create physical vision board, printing some photos and just putting them there, and they're flexible, I can move them around. If you're more into digital type of platforms, there are tons of platforms out there. One of my favorite digital platforms is Canva. When I made my vision board back when I was in mining, the picture that kept me going was me standing at the south of the Bay Street, looking towards the north, towards the old City Hall, Toronto, and just all of those tall buildings surrounding me. And that kept me going until I was working in the Bay Street. Especially if you're a newcomer or you're a new grad and your dream feels so far away, creating that vision board and putting what would be your ideal location or career or whatever is the symbol of that success in that path, it would help you to keep going and keep dreaming until you get there. There you have it, a step-by-step guide how to find a career you love and you can thrive into. Which steps are you starting with? A self-assessment, or perhaps you already done that and you're gonna do your research, or perhaps you're ready to take actions. Let me know in the comments down below. I'm reading all of them. If this video helped, please like and share it with others. And don't forget to subscribe for more career and personal advice. Let's find the career that lights you up. Till next time.